Hey Zane,
Yes, Jeffrey.
you know what day it is?
I think we have fallen into Friday.
It is Friday, which means...
Second pour.
And today we're going to review a whiskey that we opened up earlier this week.
That's right, which is...
Sacred Stave American Single Malt Whiskey by Santan Spirits.
And when are we going to review it?
I think right now. Welcome to Second Pour. My name's Jeff.
And I'm Zane.
And today we're going to review a whiskey.
It's a whiskey. Now, tell me a little bit about this whiskey before we even really get started.
This is Sacred Stave American Single Malt Small Batch Whiskey from Santan Spirits out of Arizona, Chandler, Arizona. It is not available in our area, but luckily we have friends that show up once in a while
Yes,
with whiskey.
that's right.
And we ended up with this whiskey, so we say, hey, let's review it. It is 45% ABV, 90 proof. Its mash bill is 100% malted barley, American barley.
Malted barley.
No age statement. It's finished in American red wine barrels.
Gives a little difference. There you
It's
go.
distilled by Santan Spirits in Chandler, Arizona, and it runs around $40.
$40.
Now, this is a brewery that is in Arizona that decided to start distilling spirits.
Yes.
So they really are distilling and bottling this themselves. They're not purchasing it,
From
sourcing it from somewhere else.
in Indiana.
No, they're getting this on their own.
That's pretty amazing.
So they've been making beer for a while. Let's say, hey, let's make some whiskey.
Wow.
They also, I think, do vodka and some gin too, but they have jumped into the whiskey world.
Now, you notice I've already been kind of poured up here.
Yeah, I already had some poured up too, because we had a very
Heated discussion.
about geek stuff
Don't worry.
off camera. Sort of. It was on camera. We had to restart the camera
Well,
because we forgot the camera.
yeah, well, anyway, neither here nor there. I will say this much.
Yeah.
You know those places where we don't meet in the middle? There are some places where we might meet.
And this is one of them, maybe. But what do we normally do on this show?
Oh, well, we review.
That's right.
And then we let our olfactory senses play out.
By smelling it,
Yeah, tasting,
tasting it,
etc., etc.
finishing it.
And then we go and within that, go and see what the actual distillery has to say about
The
it.
manufacturer.
And see what that factory has to say about it.
And then we, at the end, give a rating of what we feel like this whiskey rates out of a 5-finger scale. But
Yep.
we can get to that later, because for now we're going to...
Smell this. So, ugh,
It smells like American single malt.
it's so gross.
Gross.
Oh my. You know what's funny is like the single malt in America is definitely the Scotch of America.
I would agree. And they're still trying to solidify the rules on
Yes.
that, but I think we're getting pretty close. And I like the idea of us having something other than bourbon
Yeah, absolutely.
that is like got rules to applied by it that makes it what it is. And
I mean, if you've ever smelled malt
Mhm.
over the top, there is malt, but there's also a spice to this.
And this is a pretty spicy for a
Yeah.
100.1.
Yeah.
No, 90. It's a 90 proof.
I mean-
90 proof.
The interesting thing is like, how do you take a singular grain
And make it something like...
and make it so different?
I know these guys are trying to do an artisan pot still with this, so they're kind of attributing this to like Irish pot stilled single malt whiskey.
So do you think they're head and tailing this and
I think they are.
yeah, and make
I would
it
be.
nice
I'd
and-
just be surprised that most craft whiskey makers aren't doing that.
Yeah, okay.
So they're trying to get it to be smooth like an Irish whiskey. Now this is a little higher proof than Irish, because Irish tends to be 80.
Yeah.
This is 90.
But
But what are you getting out of that?
I mean, I'm getting a spicy malt, and it's when I say spicy, I can't even put my finger on the necessarily what the spice is, but obviously it's like a malted vanilla,
yeah, I see
caramel.
that. Yeah,
and then
I'm getting a fig Newton.
I could definitely see that because of the pastry of the fig Newton.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The just the breading part of the fig Newton.
Yeah.
That kind of sweet shortbread, soft bread.
Interesting enough, I do like what the alcohols do with the punch as I'm smelling.
It's just spicy enough, punchy enough, but not like.
yeah. No.
You know, I agree.
What do they say we're supposed to be getting?
Do we want to see what they say?
Yeah.
They say it is clove, cardamom, rosemary, backed by notes of earthy wood tones, tobacco, subtle hints of orchid fruits, vanilla, and toffee. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now that you say it, it doesn't really count, but the cardamom was definitely something I was getting.
Oh, you're getting that?
Yeah, but again, you know, when you're talking about perfume spices, that's really what it is. You know, it's going to be only aromatic.
And I feel like that too. It's like the tobacco's coming out now that I know the tobacco is supposed to be there.
I smoke a lot of cigars.
And I feel like
this is a lot richer than a cigar tobacco. This is like a more wettened pipe tobacco smell.
the porty wine part's coming across.
See, I'm not getting that just yet. Well,
It's there.
yeah, maybe.
It's not heavy. I mean, it's not heavy.
I mean, you wouldn't think it in Angel's Envy, which is obviously not a single malt, but
No, and I'm gonna throw this out there.
a
I
little
don't
bit of a.
I don't think the age is very long. So I don't think it's been in a long time in that barrel. Maybe
I'm just wanting to kind of
2 years.
retaste it.
Retaste it? Well, I'd say let's taste it.
Yep.
You want to taste it?
I'm gonna taste it just for you.
Well, I'm gonna taste it for you. Yeah. Now we have had a lot of American single malts.
Yeah, we have had a lot.
I feel like this is spicier than 90. See?
I do think that there's some spice that's definitely more prominent, mid palate.
Yeah. Right in the mid palate, right? Mm-hmm.
But
The vanilla comes through a little bit bolder.
yeah, but the malt overall flavor is pretty lingering. But the other interesting thing is I'm getting like a pucker.
So are you saying there's a smack factor to this?
Yeah, there's definitely a smack factor. But the pucker, the puck. Every time I'm gonna say puck on there. It's got a little puckeriness.
A little sour?
Yeah, it's that dried persimmon pucker.
Permissin?
Yeah,
So what would you say the smack factor is on this?
it's a 3. The reason why I say that is because
go with that.
it goes suddenly and then it's done.
Yeah.
But then there's that
still
hang
there.
on.
It's-
So I mean, the finish is gonna still be long.
I dare say this doesn't sound weird, but there's 2 finishes.
Oh yeah, it's got.
So like there's a swallow finish and then there's another swallow
Yeah,
finish.
yeah.
There's 2 swallow finishes on this.
It's like you take it in, taste it, you get all the mid palate range.
Yeah.
It dissipates. You're like, oh, that was a
And then
medium
another
finish.
one right after
and
that.
then it just goes, wait,
Exactly.
I'm here for you.
That's kind of neat, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. I like. Okay, let's see what they say we should be tasting out of this.
All right, ready to go.
Nutmeg, cinnamon, clove spice, brown butter, oil, tawny leather, fruit cake notes with hints of malted cereal sweetness. That's a lot.
You know,
That's a lot.
I just must not have the palate for all those different
That's
things.
a lot.
Like, I mean, what are we? I mean,
So it tastes like everything you want it to taste like.
yeah, I mean, it's like brown leather, sugar, margarine,
I can kind of see the leather if I'm looking for it, but the butter, I'm not really getting the butter.
dark fruit, peppercorn, Quasimodo.
Nutmeg, cinnamon, clove spice, brown butter, oil, tawny leather, fruit cake, and malted cereal.
And I'm like, oh, yes, I totally get all that.
Here's what I get. It tastes good.
It tastes good, but what I get is the vanilla malted flavorings
Very strong.
with a spice that I can't actually pinpoint what the spice is from, that wants to linger, dissipates, and then goes,
Yeah.
hello.
Now the clove, I'm not really feeling that because I'm not getting that nummy.
I got
thing that
the.
clove
I think that's my
does.
pucker.
That's the pucker.
I think the clove is the pucker.
See, I think the pucker is caused by the dry wine barrel,
That's what it is.
right? That tawny,
You
dry
are
wine
100% right.
barrel, porty, tawny.
That's what's
Right?
getting it. That's it.
That's doing it, right?
It's the tannins. Yes.
Exactly right.
That's right.
That's where I feel like it's coming from.
Boom.
Now, the finish on this, I hate to say it, but I think this is kind of a long finish.
It's a long finish.
Long finish. A little bit of the porty wine finished on the end with some little extra spice, probably from the clovey cinnamon that they're talking
Yep.
about.
I agree.
But there's 2 finishes. It's that there's a first finish, and then you go, there's more of a little finish.
Yeah. And I seriously doubt they're going to say it's got 2 finishes. However, I bet they're going to say it's a long finish.
You want to take a look?
I'll roll the dice. Let's go.
It says, a warm, drying, but short finish reveals red wine cast notes of baked black cherries with hints of fig date, and walnut, leading to slightly bitter oak tannins. Wow, I think
Fig Newton and your wine. Dude, you
Ding,
called that
ding, ding.
like, wow.
Wow.
That some bitch knows what he's talking
I
about.
do. Sometimes I do. But black cherry,
I wasn't getting that.
I wouldn't get that.
But they didn't really say whether it was
But
short
the
or
tannin
long.
oaks, the tawny, the port, the fig Newton, all that, that's all there. It's all there.
But they don't say how long the finish is going to last. Interesting.
It's just warm and it's dry.
It's because the finish is multi-staged.
That's right. So they can't tell you it's a short finish because it still comes back, but it's not really a long finish, but it is a long finish because it gives you 2 finishes. This is an interesting bottle.
It is interesting. Now, of course, then we get to rate this and then go with the price point.
Price
with
point.
our rating,
Okay, price point 40.
40.
And we do a rating system based on a
5-finger scale.
5 being
Absolutely, I have to have this in my life in every way, and I'm not going to share it because I'm a glutton and I hate everyone
and
else.
it's near Thanksgiving, so we'll forgive you. For
Then there's like the 1 finger, which is like, hey, it's whiskey. Let's just pour it up. Let's drink it. Hey,
I
share
like
it.
Share it
Let's
with
be
some
good.
friends and family, and it's Thanksgiving and you need it.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it down.
All right, I say I give this a 3.
Wow, I was going to say I was going to throw it down first and then give it a 3.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Then it's a 3 and a 3.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, we were meeting right. You know, sometimes we don't see eye to eye, but guess what?
Yeah, but on this one, it's a 3.
Yeah, it's a 3.
I think it's really good. And I think
Yeah.
the price point is excellent.
I'm actually surprised you didn't put it at a 4 because you love those
I do.
porty type kind of whiskeys.
But the thing is like I like my single malts.
I do too.
And I feel like it's variating. I don't think that's a word.
Variegated?
I think it's variegated is when it has a hole in your leaf plant.
Yeah.
Or whatever I'm trying to say. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, it's not a regular single malt,
No.
American single malt
No.
spirit.
No.
And so because of that difference is like, I feel like it's in its own kind of subcategory.
Yeah.
So it can't be pinnacle, but it's not.
You know,
bad
as we
at all.
sit here too, I still notice the port more. It's
Yeah.
still hanging out.
The dryness is hitting you.
It's like I
pretty
feel like I
good.
drank a wine and I
Yeah.
just had a whiskey.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my teeth are purple.
They are. But what about you? Have you get in this area where you can get Sacred Stave? Have you had it? Have you had some of their other offerings? They have a lot.
Most
A
importantly,
lot.
I will say I would recommend this at the price point.
Mhm.
Buy a bottle, give it a go.
$40. I mean, that's below the standard lately, right?
Nowadays, $40 is cheap.
Cheap. That's like budget whiskey
Isn't
now.
that the most ridiculous thing you ever? How much does J&B cost these days?
$40.
No, yeah, sure.
No, that's not true. It's still
$25
in the 20s.
right?
It's still in the 20s.
All right.
But you know, I digress.
This is not too bad.
That's not bad. So what about you? Have you had it? Then write down in the comments down below. If you want to go try it, hop over to Arizona, or if you're in the area where they actually are distributing it,
Yeah.
let us know what you think. And then don't forget to like, share, and
Subscribe, and don't forget we do have a bell.
And you should.
can ding it.
dong it, because that lets you know when we have new episodes coming out on Wednesday at
Whatever time.
Whiskey Pop, and then on Fridays when we do
Whatever the other one is.
Second Pour. In the meantime, you guys need to be cool, drink safe, drink with friends, and hey, Thanksgiving's almost here.
Did we mention? Cheers.
Cheers.